And due to circumstances beyond my control, we're back on the air. Happy Thursday to you. It's the 18th day of July, 2019. Wake up, Wenatchee Valley. Here we are again for another exciting day of television entertainment and television information and television. It is the 18th day of July. We are feeling good on this Thursday. We got through yesterday pretty safely. Today might be another story altogether. We have a red flag warning for the north central Washington area, most of the upper Columbia Basin. As a matter of fact, it was windy yesterday afternoon, just like the National Weather Service predicted, and it's going to be windy most of the day today. And you combine that with a very low relative humidity. The relative humidity is going to get down into the teens, and they had said, well, we're going to issue a red flag warning. Now, when the forecast first came out in the wee small hours of the morning, we were up, but you weren't. They didn't have a red flag warning for the Wenatchee area. They had it for the upper Columbia Basin and the Waterville Plateau, but now they've changed their mind. And about 40 minutes ago, they decided to extend that red flag warning to everybody here in the Wenatchee Valley as well. That all-important weather forecast is coming up. Good show for you today. We always try to put together a good show. We don't necessarily succeed in that endeavor, but we'll take a crack at it. We got news, of course, coming your way. The Apple Sox continue to play really good baseball. They knocked off Kelowna again last night up there in Canada, but the Mariners continue to play about as bad a baseball as a Major League Baseball team can play. We'll talk about the Mariners and the Oakland Athletics. They played yesterday. We also have, of course, everyone is entitled to Mike McNaughty's opinion. We have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. It's Thursday, Kennel Cameos. We'll see if we can get Millie the dog home. That'll come up in the bottom half of the hour with our own Megan McPherson. And in the back half of the show, J.D. Taylor dropping by. J.D. Taylor runs his own basketball business, if you will, Elite Hoops Effects. He finds some really good basketball players and helps them hone their skills so they can move on in the collegiate ranks. But he also puts together the big 3-on-3 Sunburn Classic, which is back for its 6th year. It's coming up July 27th and 28th. J.D. Taylor came by a few days ago to talk about that. You're going to love that conversation. It's coming up in the back half of the program. So all in all, we think we have a pretty good show for you today. I guess over the next 57 minutes, we'll find out together, won't we? Let's go ahead and take you around the north central Washington area and the Wenatchee Valley with our Valley View cameras. Yesterday at this time, of course, it was cloudy and it was cool. It's still cool. It's 63 degrees, but lots of sunshine. Sunshine is not going to be the issue. In fact, all the way through to Wednesday of next week, we're going to have lots of sunshine, no more clouds, but we're going to be in for a very windy day today. Beautiful view of the Wenatchee Valley from the cross camera. That's just gorgeous. So we have 2 cross cameras, as a matter of fact. That's our 4K camera. Allows us to really get some fantastic shots of the Wenatchee Valley. And then we have a camera that we call cross east, which is, as you might imagine, to the east of the camera that you're seeing there by about 500 or 600 feet. It's also slightly lower in elevation. That's more concentrated on the east Wenatchee area as opposed to the valley as a whole as the sun continues to climb up in the sky. Sunrise this morning was at 5:22, sunset tonight 8:51. That gives us 15 hours and 29 minutes of daylight. Camera 2, Megan gets to decide. I have to guess. I'm usually pretty good at this, and that is obviously the Two Rivers camera up on top of the Lake Wenatchee area where the White River empties into Lake Wenatchee. Looks like it's a little breezy up there as well. Looking down on Lake Wenatchee. That's just an incredible view. If we turn that around the other direction, we can see the White River Valley all the way up into the northern Cascades, the Lake Wenatchee area. Of course, busy this time of year. They have Camp Zanikalachi on the south shore and the YMCA camp out on the north shore, full of kids having fun with their summer camping activities. Good morning, Lake Wenatchee. And a nice thing about the wind up at Lake Wenatchee, it keeps the mosquitoes away. The mosquitoes don't go out when it's breezy, so that's your trade-off there. Camera 3, where are we off to, Megan? We're going to Jump Off Ridge is where we're going. And again, that camera is moving around a little bit. Yeah, they're bolted down pretty good to these towers, and the towers are in, cement foundations, and they have guy wires to keep them from blowing over. But still, it doesn't take a lot of wind for these cameras to move around a little bit. The Stimmel Basin is obviously dominating your view, but way off in the distance, you can see East Wenatchee. You can almost make out Three Lakes Golf Course and the Highlander Golf Course in the East Wenatchee area. Good morning, Jump Off Ridge, a phenomenal view there. And camera 4 is a view from Bill E. Goat. What a fantabulous view. Without question, our highest camera, our highest tower. It's, I think, something like 6,000 feet in elevation. And of course, when you're that high up and you go out into that area, you can go forever. And that little bump that you see right in the middle of your screen is Mount Kalispell. It's spelt with a C, and that is in Canada. Good morning to our friends in the upper part. You can see Pateros right there as the Methow Valley, as the Methow River empties in to the Columbia. We thought about moving this camera. It's PTZ cameras, pan, tilt, and zoom. We can move them up and down and back and forth and around. But if we move it to the left to go up the Methow Valley, you can't see it because that's where the tower is. So basically all you get is one big steel pipe. Sorry, folks. We'll work on that. A beautiful view from Billy Goat. And good morning to our friends in Brewster, Bridgeport, Pateros, and all things to the north of us on this beautiful Thursday morning. But boy, are we in for some wind from the National Weather Service. Let's take a look at the forecast, and it looks something like this. As I mentioned before, they did not issue a red flag warning for the Wenatchee Valley until just about 40 minutes ago. There you go. There's the map. If it's in red, that kind of looks like Michigan, doesn't it? That kind of pinkish area there. Kind of looks like Michigan. It isn't. That's the map for the red flag warning. Of course, red flag warnings means low relative humidity and strong winds. Although not a lot of heat. We're not going to be very warm today. We're going to be well below normal again, like we have been for quite some time. But if you live in that red area, you have a red flag warning, and that includes the Waterville Plateau and now the Wenatchee Valley. So you can just kind of slide that over just a little bit. So it's going to be breezy today again, all over most of eastern Washington. Boy, if there's a grass fire that gets going, it could be really bad. Temperatures will remain cooler than average. The big story is going to be the wind, as we mentioned before. Winds, northwest wind this morning, about 11 to 16 miles an hour. As the day goes down the road, it'll be picking up to about 20 to 25 miles an hour later on this afternoon. We can see the occasional rogue gust here in the Wenatchee Valley of 40 miles an hour. Our highest gust speed yesterday on Wednesday was 37 miles an hour. We had a couple of those right around the 5 o'clock hour yesterday afternoon. Tonight, clear skies, continued windy. Again, gusts right around 40 miles an hour is possible, but the winds will be decreasing. It'll start out at about 17 to 22 miles an hour. Northwest wind tonight. It'll eventually be dying down to about 9 to 14 miles an hour, but again, gusty at times. A little breezy on Friday. We were hoping we would be done with it by Friday, but that's not going to be the case. High of about 80 degrees, gusts as high as 24 miles an hour on Friday. But Friday night begins the calming process. Saturday, we start warming up. What's happening is a strong high-pressure ridge is going to be centered over the Rockies, and a rather large upper low is going to be off the coast of British Columbia. They're going to do battle for a while. The high pressure is going to win on Monday and Tuesday as we get really, really hot. But by the time we get to Wednesday, that offshore low is going to pivot down to see us. And so we could actually see they're keeping a very close eye Wednesday and Thursday of next week for the possibility of some thunderstorms. So windy today, windy tonight, windy Friday. Red flag warning starts at 2 o'clock this afternoon, runs until 8 o'clock tonight. So the hottest part of the day, even though it's not going to be very warm for the middle of July, 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock is how the red flag warning will be in effect. They may extend it, they may cancel it. They have a right to do that. Yesterday's high, by the way, 80 degrees, our normal high on Wednesday. Yesterday would have been 88, so 11 out of the past 12 days, our daily high has been below normal. It has been a very cool July, all things considered. So lots of sunshine, lots of wind today, tonight, Friday, into Friday night. We calm down Saturday and we start the warming process. By the time we get to Saturday afternoon, it's going to be downright hot by the early part of next week before we get into the middle part of next week and we cool back down again. And that is your forecast. At 9 minutes after the hour, we want to thank our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring this program. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. Thank you, Confluence Health, for sponsoring Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. What made headlines on Wednesday? We know. And in 1 minute, you're going to know. So grab a cup of coffee and your English muffin or whatever it is you'd like to enjoy to get your day going. Come right back and join us in 1 minute. I'll bring the news your way. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation. and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
We're back on this Thursday morning. It's 11 minutes after the hour. We have lots of sunshine, a little breezy at 62 degrees.
Do you have a script for me?
Oh, Megan doesn't have the script for the news. We're going to have to wing it, Megan. Sorry about that. Or I can just go get it. You want me to go get it? It's right here.
What is it?
I'll be right back. I'm going to get the script. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. Here you go, Megan. Here's your script for news and sports. Live TV working without a net. Hi, I'm back. Are you ready, Megan? Here we go. Thanks to eyewitnesses, 5 Moses Lake teens were arrested early Tuesday after allegedly breaking into a home. Again, this was in Moses Lake. According to the Moses Lake Police, about 4:50 on Tuesday morning, residents in the 1200 block of Lakeside Drive noticed several young males breaking into a home. The witnesses were able to give police a description of the suspects as well as their vehicle. And when officers arrived and stopped the suspect's car, 5 juveniles exited the vehicle and ran from the officers. The 2011 Acura also had been reported stolen from the 5600 block of Crystal Springs Road earlier in the evening. The car was later searched and the items stolen from the Lakeside Drive home were recovered. The 5 suspects included 3 14-year-olds, a 15-year-old, and a 16-year-old. All of them were booked into the Grant County Juvenile Detention Center. 2 federal agents who were injured in that Moses Lake drug raid on Tuesday, they were treated and released at a local hospital. The agents with the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives were hit by shrapnel or debris during a shootout while raiding a home in the 2400 block of Road E5 Northeast in May Valley. The Moses Lake suspect later turned his gun on himself. He was taken to a hospital in Spokane. His condition has not been released. It was one of a series of drug raids in central Washington on Tuesday morning. More than 300 federal agents served 19 warrants in Grant, Yakima, and Adams counties. They reported seizing significant amounts of methamphetamine, cocaine, and heroin, in addition to weapons and cash. In addition to the ATF, the Drug Enforcement Agency, the Border Patrol, and local agencies participated in the raids. Well, wolves and wildfires have become 2 top-of-mind awareness issues for residents of Northeast Washington, and a group of state lawmakers met last week to tour those areas most impacted by both. Our very own senior news correspondent Steve Hare filed this report.
Members of the House Rural Development, Agriculture, and Natural Resources Committee were hosted by Wakanda Representative Joel Kretz and Addy Senator Shelley Short, along with Kelly Suswin, Director of the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife. Representative Kretz, a Ferry County horse rancher, has been an outspoken critic of the wolf reintroduction and the state's wildfire management program. During the tour, area ranchers described how wolf depredation continues to force cattle off the higher elevation grazing areas, leading to an overabundance of dry grasses, and that, they say, increases the threat of wildfires. They then listened to state officials describe their animal capture plans, techniques, and equipment. Democratic Representative Brian Blake of Aberdeen and chair of the committee said the state needs to do a better job of thinking out of the box in order to ensure that multi-generational ranchers have a chance at staying in business. Afterwards, the legislators drove through scarred and burnt federal forest land on their way to the Deer Creek Summit Campground at the top of Boulder. The group saw the damage done to the forest and then discussed the forest management techniques now being utilized on state land to help prevent massive wildfires. Now, the committee's visit to Northeast Washington was the first to that region in nearly a decade. Kretz said it's important that members get out of Olympia in order to see the real-world problems faced by rural communities. Said he's hopeful that lawmakers can find bipartisan solutions in the next session. Steve Hare, NCW Life News.
Thank you, Steve. We appreciate it. Construction is underway for the new Law and Justice facility in East Wenatchee. Here with more details on the construction and the timeline is our very own Kyle Montgomery.
Douglas County has begun construction of their new Law and Justice facility that is set to be completed by August and open to the public in November. The new facility is located north of the new Evidence Storage Building and will be adjacent to the Public Services Building located on 19th Street in East Wenatchee. The upgraded facility will look to serve as a collaborative, cooperative, and effective campus for both the public and employees of Douglas County. County Administrator James Barker told NCW Life about the new facility along with what departments and offices it will be home to.
New facility will have district court. It'll have offices for the prosecuting attorney, but their main office will still be in Waterville. Superior Court or a second courtroom is available in the new facility, so if Superior Court does need to move its venue down here, or if there are other court activities that need to take place, they can use that facility as well.
The facility will also hold the Adult Juvenile Probation Center, Sheriff's Operations Office, and the newly elected coroner. The new center will replace the existing one on 2nd Street that was in need of extensive repairs that would have exceeded $1 million. The new facility will be financed through existing revenue streams, with half of the $8 million project being paid for using cash reserves. The rest of the money will come from a 25-year bond taken out by the county that is expected to be paid for in 15 years or less. The current building on 2nd Street will be sold following completion of the Law and Justice facility, and proceeds will be used to buy down bonds for an early call to save on internet costs. With NCW Life, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you for that report, Kyle. The August primary election, it's just about underway here in Washington State. Vote-by-mail ballots have been issued in Chelan and Douglas counties and the city of Chelan. Mayor Mike Cooney is being challenged by Stan Morse and Bob Getty. Antioch Mayor John Alt is going to face off against Sarah Tula, Marie Stenberg, and Michael Buckingham. Voters in Wenatchee will choose between Lyle Marquardt, Jorge Chacon, and Linda Harold for the at-large council position in the Peshastin Water District. Ronald Flugrath, Shane Sandberg, and Lori Malmquist are vying for the top 2 votes. In Douglas County, the race for mayor of Waterville has attracted 4 candidates to replace the retiring Royal Devaney: Lloyd Smith, J.D. Greening, Charles Driver, and Jill Daling Thompson. All 3 positions on the Eastmont School Board are contested, but only the at-large director number 5 position features 3 candidates. They need to be whittled down to 2. Megan Vibbert, Peter Smith, and Lyle McClune are competing for that position. The top 2 finishers advance to the fall election. By the way, ballots must be returned by Election Day, August 6th, at your local county auditor's office. Well, the goats that took over the Wenatchee foothills last week, they've been very productive in their efforts to reduce fuels in the area to help prevent wildfires. Chelan County District 1 Chief Brian Brett tells NCW Life that the pilot project could not have gone any better than expected for county officials.
And as a pilot project, it has went better than we could have ever anticipated. We're super excited to apply for grants and determine other areas within the fire district where we can utilize the goats for further fuel reduction work.
Brett says the next step for the county is to evaluate the impact of the goats and then assess further plans, see if they want to bring them back in the future.
Next steps is we'll evaluate the impact to it. For example, we've seen some erosion where their hooves have trampled it excessively. We'll determine what reseeding needs to be done with native grasses, and then we'll see how long it lasts. What's the frequency we need to get the goats back in to keep the fuels reduced? And then when the Chelan County Hazard Mitigation Plan is signed and finalized, we are going to use that as our document to apply for further FEMA grants throughout the fire district where we can deploy the goats.
Brett added, by the way, that the eating machines have been very well received by the homeowners. So far, nobody's had any negative comments being heard about the goats, and it looks like they did their job quite well. And that is the news at 20 minutes after the hour. We have another newscast. This isn't really a newscast. It's kind of a recap, but a complete newscast, including your weather forecast, including sports, a regular feature story, and everything that you need to know to wrap up your Thursday is available for you to watch on this very television station. It's at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock. The NCW Life Evening News with Grant Olson and Eric Grandstrom. 5, 6, and 10 available for you to watch on demand on our website at ncwlife.com. We'll have it up and running just about 4:30 or 5 o'clock in the evening for you to watch whenever you darn well want to. And we have all of our newscasts and all of our locally produced programs archived as well. If you want to go back and look at a commencement exercises from June, or an apple blossom parade, or a Wenatchee Wild hockey game, they're there. Check it out. Go to ncwlife.com, and you can use our website as a tool for you to get a hold of us. ncwlife.com, the very upper right-hand corner of your screen has a Contact Us icon. Click on it, and it's down the road you go. You can also email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can drop us a line via our Facebook page. You can even pick up the telephone and give us a call. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we have sports. Megan, you have the sports script, right? Okay, we're going to do sports, the obscure holiday. Today in history, birthdays, everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion, Kennel cameos because it's Thursday, and my conversation with J.D. Taylor. We're talking basketball. The Sunburn 3-on-3 Classic, the 6th annual, is coming up in just a couple of weeks. All that coming up between now and 8 o'clock. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley, we hope, on the NCW Life channel.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Welcome back. 23 minutes after the hour. Let's do sports. Ryan Altenberger and Dalton Harum delivered home runs. The Apple Sox have extended their winning streak to 7 games in a row. 6-4, the final over Kelowna on Wednesday. Altenberger's 3-run home run erased a 2-0 deficit in the top of the 3rd inning. Harum's 2-run shot came at the top of the 5th. That made it 5-2 Wenatchee. Cody Darcy's sacrifice fly in the 5th put the Sox up 6-2, and then they held on. For the 6-4 victory, Ryan Long earns the W on the mound. He went 5 innings. He allowed 2 runs, 6 hits, a couple of strikeouts, and a couple of walks. Brett Gillis struck out 7 in the final 3 frames to get his first save of the season. They'll go for their 3rd West Coast League sweep of the season tonight. 6:35, Seth Kuykendall will take the mound for the Sox. To the Les Schwab scoreboard from other action in the West Coast League last night. Bend and Yakima Valley combined for 24 runs and 25 hits. The Pippins won 13-11. Nick Israel was 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs. Nick DiCarlo, 3 for 3 with 4 runs and 3 ribbies in the win for Yakima Valley. Joe Kinski threw 7 innings of 1-hit, 1-run ball with 6 strikeouts to lead Port Angeles over Cowlitz 4-3. Talk about a marathon. Look at this. Victoria topped Walla Walla in 19 innings. The final was 4-3. It was at Borleski Stadium in Walla Walla. It took 5 hours and 44 minutes. The teams used a combined 13 pitchers. Whew. Chase Meadroth won it for the Harbor Cats, by the way, in the 19th with a sacrifice fly to score Chase Winsender. Alex Lambeau and Darius Perry hit home runs to lead Portland to a 7-3 win over Bellingham. Lambeau's was a leadoff shot in the 4th. Perry's was a 2-run bomb in the 8th. The Pickles improved to 4-1 in this second half. They tied now with Corvallis for first place in the South Division. And in a non-league game, Noah Taylor hit a 2-run home run and was 2 for 4 at the plate with 3 runs and 3 ribbies to lead Ridgefield to a 16-0 win over Highline. So to the standings we go. Wenatchee remains atop the West Coast League North. Second half of the season, Apple Sox 6-2. Harbor Cats 7-3. Yakima Valley game and a half back at 5-4. Port Angeles 2 games back at 4-4. Bellingham and Kelowna have just 1 win so far in the second half of the season. The Mariners' losing streak reached 6 yesterday, 10-2, the final at Oakland. Eric Swanson gave up a 2-run home run in the second inning. Tommy Malone gave up 3 home runs, including 2 to Mark Kahana in Seattle's 10-2 loss yesterday. The Athletics ended up hitting 6 home runs. That's about 5 too many. Malik Smith and Tim Beckham each had 2 hits for Seattle. Seattle has the day off today. Boy, they could use it. And then they host the Angels for the first of a 3-game weekend series on Friday. Mike Leake will start for Seattle. LA has yet to announce their starter on Friday. To the Les Schwab scoreboard for the rest of the American League West on Wednesday. Arizona exploded for 19 runs, 21 hits, 5 home runs to beat Texas 19-4. Michael Brantley and George Springer both went deep in Houston's 11-2 win over the Angels. Wednesday was a day when Houston won for the 60th time this season, and the Mariners lost their 60th game. Seattle is 22 games behind the Astros, the American League West. Only Baltimore, Detroit, Toronto, and Miami have worse records in all of Major League Baseball than the Mariners. It's been a long slog for Seattle this year. And those are just some of the games that people are playing on this Thursday morning. It is July 18th, and the obscure holiday of the day today, it is Caviar Day. The delicacy of caviar. In simple terms, of course, caviar is sturgeon fish eggs. It's as simple as that. There are several species of sturgeon, so therefore caviar produces, there's different kinds of caviar, different colors and different flavors depending on the species. Caviar is good for you. It's full of protein and vitamins. Of course, it's also incredibly expensive. The United States led the distribution for many, many years of caviar, about 600 tons a year until around 1900, but they were over-harvesting all the sturgeon, and the sturgeon came that close to going extinct. We were just fishing them. We were harvesting sturgeon quicker than they could reproduce, and so they basically stopped. And they say that the population of sturgeon has never really recovered from the massive overfishing in the 1800s. So since that time, harvesting and exporting and importing caviar is highly restricted. And of course, sturgeon takes a long time to mature. It takes between 6 to 25 years old before they can even start laying eggs. So they have these sturgeon farms, and they have to be very patient because they have to raise all these sturgeon, and it takes a long, long time before the caviar comes. There are 21 sturgeon farms, by the way, in the U.S. and Canada. Caviar, incredibly expensive, but very, very good. The rarest and most expensive caviar comes from the beluga sturgeon, which is only found in the Caspian Sea, and a 17-ounce tin can, which isn't very much, a 17-ounce tin can of beluga caviar will run you about $2,000. I love caviar. Can't afford it, but I love it. Happy Caviar Day. It's 28 minutes after the hour. Let's do Today in History. This is the 147th anniversary of the Ballot Act of 1872, which in the United Kingdom introduced the requirement that all elections be held by secret ballot. Seems obvious, right? You fill out your ballot. It's secret. You don't have to make your vote public if you choose not to do so. They didn't have that in Great Britain until 1872. Your ballot was public, and it was used for intimidation. Landlords and employers would stand at the polls and watch you vote, and if they didn't like the candidate that you voted for, they would raise your rent or throw you out of your house, or they would fire you from their job. It was all about intimidation. Can you believe that? That's true. It's 100% true. Your vote in Great Britain was public until 1872. We take the secret ballot for granted here. That wasn't the case in Great Britain until 147 years ago, when they thought, maybe we should make the ballots secret. It's been secret ever since. This is the 66th anniversary of one of the great moments in all of rock and roll music. 19-year-old truck driver Elvis Aaron Presley walked into the Memphis recording service, forked over $3.98, went into the booth and recorded 2 songs for his mother Gladys for a birthday present. And out came the acetate that you see on your screen. Side A was My Happiness. Side B, That's When Your Heartaches Begin. The owner of the Memphis recording studios was Sam Phillips, who wasn't there that day. His receptionist, Marion Kiesker, was the one who threaded the tape machine, recorded Elvis, and cranked out the acetate for him. But she thought, this guy's pretty good. Sam needs to hear from this guy. I like this guy. He's got a good voice. He's got a good attitude. They asked Elvis for his phone number so they could get back to him. Elvis says, we don't have a phone. You got to call the butcher shop down below. We live upstairs. She kept the tape, by the way. Elvis got the acetate, gave it to his mother. She kept the tape, played it for Sam Phillips a couple of days later, and the rest is rock and roll history. Happened 66 years ago today. Happy 51st birthday to Intel. Intel was founded in California on this day back in 1968. It was the world's second largest and second highest value semiconductor chip maker. They have since been surpassed by Samsung, but almost every personal computer built over the last 15 years has an Intel microprocessor in it somewhere. This company has done very good for themselves, and they were founded 51 years ago today. And 6 years ago today, the government of Detroit ran out of money. Well, they were out of money. They were $20 billion in debt, and they filed for bankruptcy, the largest municipal bankruptcy in U.S. history. Detroit said, we ain't got no more money. In fact, we're $20 billion in the red. They filed for bankruptcy, the largest one, municipal bankruptcy in history. Happened 6 years ago today. Detroit is recovering. They're coming back. We love Detroit. Let's do some birthdays. Nelson Mandela was born on this date 101 years ago today. The first president of South Africa, of course, a Nobel Prize laureate. Passed away a number of years ago at the age of 95. Nelson Mandela, one of the great human beings of the 20th century. Speaking of human beings who accomplished great things, John Glenn was born on this date in 1921. He was the last living of the Mercury 7 astronauts. Of course, he served the state of Ohio with great distinction as a senator for 24 years, and he, of course, was the first American to orbit the Earth. John Glenn was born in the state in 1921. Dion is 80. Dion DiMucci is 80 years old. Why must I be a teenager in love? Where a Wind, Lonely Teenager, Run Around Sue, Abraham Martin and John, The Wanderer, the legendary Dion, inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with the class of 1989, is 80 years old today. And Joe Torre, the chief baseball officer of Major League Baseball and has been for the past 8 years, is 79 years old today, 9 times an All-Star, inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame. He won 84 games in the postseason, which is by far more than any other manager. He won 6 pennants and 4 world championships with the New York Yankees. Happy 79th birthday to Joe Torre. 32 minutes after the hour, we got Mike McNally's opinion on the way and my conversation with my friend J.D. Taylor. We're talking basketball. The big Sunburn Classic is coming up in a couple weeks. But first things first, it's Thursday. It's Kennel Cameos with Megan McPherson.
Hey guys, Megan here with the NCW Life Channel. We're here with Leticia, the clinic's program coordinator at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, and joining us this week is Millie. Can you tell us about Millie?
Yeah, Millie is a very sweet, beautiful 4-year-old coonhound mix. Millie came to us about 3 months ago, and she's still here and she's waiting for her home. But Millie is a really, really, really sweet dog. She loves everyone. Volunteers work a lot with her because she's really easy to handle, and usually the volunteer coordinator will use her as like examples, just how to train. She's very outgoing, and our volunteers also always take her on off-site adventures. They take her on a lot of off-site adventures. They go to the riverfront and they take her hiking, and she just loves going out and being active. She also enjoys being inside and just cuddle time with everyone.
And what kind of home life is she looking for?
She would do really well in a home where there is a nice fence. Coonhounds usually are just, their nose takes them on a lot of adventures, and she has that breed in her. She would do best in a home. As the only pet, she would love to soak up all the attention for herself. She knows some tricks. She knows how to sit. She knows how to come, and she loves to play fetch. Adopting her is really simple. You just gotta come to the shelter, you meet her, and you fall in love with her. You can take her home and fill out the adoption fee. Her adoption fee or adoption application, her adoption fee is $125. She's fixed already and has all her vaccinations up to date.
The Wenatchee Valley Humane Society is located at 1474 South Wenatchee Avenue and is open Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and Saturday and Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. Give them a call at 509-662-9577 or visit their website at wenatcheehumane.org. This has been Kennel Cameos at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society.
We're here because of the children, because the children need to be protected. Their needs aren't being met.
They didn't ask for any of this stuff. It's not their choices that got them here.
The more adults that a child has that love them, the better off they are.
Children need a whole community to raise them. And if we can do any little thing, it makes a big difference in the child's life.
Hi everyone, this is Brent Crowder. After 13 years with the Town Auto Group, I have returned home to Town Toyota where it all started. If you're in the market for a new or used vehicle, let me help you find the right one at the right price. Toyota is reliable and trustworthy, and you can count on me to be the same. When it comes to buying your next car, you can't go wrong with Toyota and Crowder. Ask for Brent at Town Toyota or call me now at 888-5000.
Moving doesn't have to be back-breaking, stressful work. And I don't want you to make a move that way ever again.
Traditionally, you would rent a truck. You would load up your stuff. You would rent a storage unit. You would transport it. And finally, you would unload your stuff yourself. You don't have to lift a finger. We bring the mobile storage unit to you. We drop it off. Then one of our trusted packers can load it for you. We come pick it up and store it securely for you. We bring it back to you. No hassle, no stress.
Hey, this is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, has become kind of a fad mental health diagnosis. People claim to have it or believe that experience such as having to go through a metal detector at a school can bring it on. Sorry, but no. The criteria for PTSD diagnosis, and I quote from the DSM-5, is exposure to actual threatened death, serious injury, or sexual violence. Believe me, folks, PTSD is a serious diagnosis, and the symptoms are miserable. No one who understands the terrible significance of having PTSD would ever claim to have it if, in fact, they didn't. This is Mike Mad Dog McNally, and that's my opinion.
And we are back at Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. Whenever we can add the word annual to any event, that's good. It means people like it, people go to it, people have fun. And the 6th annual Sunburn Classic 3-on-3 basketball tournament is coming up on July 27th and 28th. A new location this year. To talk about that and all cool things basketball related is our local hoops expert. In fact, he runs his own business called Elite Hoops Effects. Give it up, everybody, for J.D. Taylor. Listen to the crowd. Oh, they love you.
It'll go a while.
I do, bud.
Good. How are you?
Doing good. Back again, 6th year.
Yeah, 6th year.
First thing out of the box, brand new location.
Brand new location.
Right.
Absolutely. We have a lovely location that we're going to call, it's going to be home. We're in East Wenatchee. Thanks to the city of East Wenatchee and Eastmont Parks and the school district. We're going to be on 3rd, right in front of the high school.
Eastmont High School and the park.
Yep. And so we pick up the park as well this year, so we have lots of shade and water and toys for the kids. It's going to be a great location to have this event.
Who approached you on moving it from its previous locations to 3rd Street?
The city of East Wenatchee really got involved. They like what we're doing, and we're trying to find a home for it. That's why we've moved a few times the past couple years, and so now we found out a great spot for it.
So. And being adjacent to the park, for those of you who didn't know, it was at the Town Toyota Center parking lot for a while, which is all well and good, but it was kind of off the beaten path. And then you were at the Pybus for a year, and you were in downtown Wenatchee for a year, all well and good. But now you are adjacent to a large green area. The park is right next door, which means you can do other things besides just hoops, right?
Yes. So, besides all the people in the park, we have the availability for more vendors, things and stuff as we grow. And we're growing this year. Having the park is a big deal. The Sunburn is the 3-on-3 started first. It just kind of led things off, but it's built to be a festival. We figured out what kind of festival we're going to have, and it's a sports festival. This year, the 27th and 28th, we're going to have the Sunburn Sports Weekend.
Okay.
There, so
you are up in the ante quite a bit.
Yep, and thanks to Eastmont Parks, so they also have a couple tournaments that are going to be going on that weekend as well. They're going to be having a cornhole tournament, so you can go on and register for get your team in for that, and also we're going to have a wiffle ball tournament as well. And so as we continue to grow, we're going to be adding more and more sports events into our sports festival. So it's a cool thing to start to have happen. It's
but the centerpiece, the main of it, is of course the 3-on-3 Sunburn Classic. As it implies, it's 3-on-3 half-court basketball. Tell people exactly what the Sunburn Classic is as far as basketball is concerned. How many people are on a team, the size of the court, all that stuff.
Yeah, sure.
For those folks who don't know.
Yeah, sure. So we have it's half-court basketball. The size of the courts, because of our venue, we really want to make good use of the space that we have. So we have a center court that's 50 feet by 50 feet. With our Porter basketball hoops on it, but the rest of it, we're running right down the middle of the street, and the court size, we're going to go 50 feet wide with the sidelines.
Is that larger than normal, or is that?
That's about typical size of a regulation high school court, and college and pro, they're 50 feet wide, but the depth is going to be 30 feet for the out of bounds, which is about 5 feet more than most places are given. With their setbacks. So we have that. The difference is the age divisions is the differences in the size of the hoops, because we'll have first and second graders. Of course, their 3-point line is going to be a little bit closer, the free throw line a little bit closer, and their hoops a little bit shorter. Okay. So they can get the ball up there. It's all about them being able to have some successes and then still being able to convert with the skills that they have. So it's going to be a fun time. We're really looking forward to it.
How many courts are going to be on 3rd Street in East Wenatchee?
We have 18 courts spread out. We really take up that street. So right on 3rd Street, right in front of the Eastmont High School football stadium is where we're going to close off, and we'll go we run that whole length of that street all the way to the end of Eastmont High School's parking lot. We have that all basketball court.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's going to look good.
Where do you get the courts? Where do they come from? And the hoops, for that matter, I guess.
The Sunburn Classic we own our equipment.
Oh, great.
We've been purchasing our equipment since year 2. And so all the equipment out there, the Sunburn Classic owns. That's what we're, because we have to have that in order to have our growth. If you lease them, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, and so we want to make sure that we have really good equipment too. We spend the money. We may not be the biggest Hoop Fest size, and I don't think we would want to be that. That's a whole different deal. But we're a very, very good, well-organized tournament that's a lot of fun, and that's our goal, is to be we can be the best. And it's a lot of fun, and people look forward to coming back because of our officials that we hire and we bring in. They keep it going, and then just the way we run our tournament, we're under one universal clock, and games start on time.
That's nice. That's not always the case.
Not always the case.
Yeah, I went to the Spokane one a few years ago, and it was, although very well organized, it was too big. You couldn't. I had a hard time. They just now have an app, but before that, I had a hard time trying to find the really elite 3-on-3 teams, because it was just so spread out. I couldn't find them.
Well, yeah, that's 40 city blocks. They have over 750 courts.
Yeah.
And they have a main hub area where you have your center court. That's where Kevin Durant and those guys, they all come to. They have that center court, but then there's just so much there. It's really hard to find your way around. But with the app, it's a little bit easier. We sponsor a couple courts there. We have the past 4 or 5 years, Elite Hoop Effects and the Sunburn Classic. So we make our way there. We're trying to draw more Hoop Fest teams into the Sunburn. Now that the order of how tournaments switched up, the Sunburn's in a really good position. We're pretty much the last of the big guys. Right now, Hot Shots has moved their tournament to the weekend before Hoop Fest, so that covers June. So the the third and fourth weekend in June is where the bigger tournaments are taken, and now we have us at the end of July. So
it's funny. There's going to be some really, really good basketball players there. But the nice thing about the Sunburn Classic, you can be terrible at basketball as long as you get together 4 guys or 4 gals. You can go play. I mean, they're not gonna put you in a division or in a league where you're just gonna get creamed.
No, you can through our registration. We have all the way from recreation. If you're just a rec player, hey, I love to play. I'm not very good. We're not very good, but we love to play. We have that division for you. Sign up, get out there, have some fun. It's just about the enjoyment of just the atmosphere and things like that. That's why we have another competitive and elite level. Those are the ones that get a little bit more serious and the whole deal, but they still have a lot of fun too. It's just our tournament is fun.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Girls, guys, kids, adults. How many different divisions are there altogether?
We have a lot.
You have the 3 levels.
Divisions.
You have your elite, your middle, and then your guys like me who can't play. There's the poster, by the way.
Yeah.
So how many different, divvied up by gender and age and all that stuff? How many different divisions?
We have a lot of different divisions. You know, I haven't really sat down and counted them, but we have them from co-ed. We have boys and girls all the way up through high school. We have over 40. We have even an elite money division where teams can sign up. That level you get 5 players. Only 3 play at a time because it's very competitive. The winning team, they bring the prize money.
Oh wow! Okay.
Yeah, so it gets really competitive.
But most 3-on-3 teams are 4 players.
Yeah, most 3-on-3 teams are 4 players. Yeah, you get 1 alternate. You're going to need it during the Sunburn as well. That heat it's named the Sunburn for a reason.
For a reason.
Was it supposed to be 91 and 97? That's what I saw.
I don't know.
Weather-wise,
I don't want to talk about
I just
that.
kind of looked out there. I just want to make sure we're getting sunburned.
How's the scoring work? Is it 2 points and then you have a 3-point line and that works?
Yeah, it's 1s and 2s.
Okay.
1s and 2s. 1 point for a made field goal. 2 points for a 3-point.
For a 3-point, and you play to a number.
Yeah.
To a score
Yep. First team 20.
Okay.
Wins, or we go by our time.
Okay.
Because we have a time clock at the end of that time. If you have a tie, you go into a tiebreaker. It's just a sudden death thing. You shoot free throws.
What's the word in the hoops community out there about this event? I mean, some of the more elite basketball 3-on-3, these teams who like travel all over the circuit, group of 5 guys, and that's what they do on weekends. They go out and they play these tournaments.
Oh yeah,
all
there's a
over
lot of them out
Pacific
there.
Northwest. What are they telling you about your tournament specifically?
This is one of their favorites. It's just because of how it's run. It's how you run it is very, very important. People are coming from out of town, and we invite them here because we want them to see our city. We want them to experience all the stuff around, and if their time clock is off, everything's off. We want them to know if their game starts at 2 o'clock, it's probably going to start at 2 o'clock, and then they'll be done. You can set stuff around. That's what they like most about it. And then the fact that we have paid officials.
Which helps. You don't have to call your own fouls.
No, you don't have to call your own fouls. We make sure that you can keep concentrating on basketball and having fun and playing. And we pay our officials. We have a crew that comes in, and they do a great job. They're a show.
Yeah.
They literally are. They can call the worst call on your kid, and you'll probably be like, "Oh, it was funny." They make it. They really loosen it up for you. So.
Logistically speaking, how long does it take you to put this thing together, JD? Is this a solo thing? You got to help? I mean, this sounds like a lot of work, bud.
It's a lot of work. We work all year long on it. This is no sleep July for my wife and I, but we have a board of people, and we go to work, and we're a working board, and we're just kind of figuring out other things that we can do. It started out with just my wife and I getting this thing going, but you got to get it going, and we stuck behind it, and now others are getting on board now that it's live. It's 6 years old now.
Yeah. And that's good.
It's
we like
6 years
that.
already.
You usually bring in a celebrity or two each year. Somebody from the Northwest who's a extremely well known in the basketball community. Who's coming in this year? Who do you got?
This year I have my buddy. He's great with the people, and he came one time for our Rugrat Nation. And we have Eldridge Ricasner.
Former Huskies.
Former
Sorry,
Husky,
yeah.
and he played with Charlotte. He played with Atlanta. I mean, Eldridge is, matter of fact, I think he's down at the NBA Summer League right now. He's also on the Retired Players Association on the board for that. So he's still heavily involved in NBA stuff that's going on right now. And he's coming in. I can't wait to see him.
That'll
He's
be
a
great.
good friend of mine, and he just loves the kids in basketball. So yeah, hey, come on down just to see Eldridge. Even if you're not playing, we want the
Absolutely.
community to come down, and that's what this whole thing is. Even if you're not playing in the Sunburn, if you're not going to do the cornhole tournament, just come and visit the venue. Which leads to why we want you to come down. Why, we have
Do the honors, JD.
We have the city behind us, right? And so we want our vendors and we want all the stores. We're having Sunburn Saturday, where you come down to the venue, you pick up your wristband, and Sunburn Saturday is for all of our stores and shops and restaurants that are in East Wenatchee and Wenatchee area. They can get on our list, and people, and they have savings for our people that are coming into town. It gives them a great way to get people to come into your spot, and you can give them some specials, and that's where we wanted to push them to, right? And so we want people from our community come down and check it out, hang out, eat some food, watch some good basketball. You don't even have to have a team or a kid there.
Yeah, you'll see some incredible talent. I mean, really some incredible talent at the elite level.
Oh, yeah.
These guys can play.
They can play. There's some good basketball going on. And then you go further down the venue and you have the little guys. That's my favorite.
Which is cute. Yeah.
Yeah, they're my favorite.
The little 7-year-olds out there having a good time.
Yeah.
I got the form here to get your team signed up. There is a small typo. I didn't know if you know this, JD. It says total $50.
Oh, this
that
is
can't possibly be
Oh
right.
no, that's for the
it's gotta be
Sunburn.
A lot
that's for
more
the Sunburn
expensive
Saturday.
than that,
Oh, but we're still not that bad. We're
Okay,
still not. It's
yeah.
$110 for a team registration.
That's fantastic.
$110 for a team registration.
You're guaranteed how many games?
You're guaranteed your 3 games.
Okay.
But most teams are in again. There's a lot of teams that play 4, 5, 6 games in a weekend. We also have a couple things that are going to be happening at the venue. Just because of the layout and what we have available, we're going to have a chance for people to play more basketball. We're going to have a specialized court that's set off to the side for challenge games. So, and it's just, and that money that you put in, it's just a few bucks to get a challenge game. And that's going to go to help some kid with a scholarship somewhere.
good.
So that's a fundraiser. That's a fundraising event there. And it's challenge games. Hey, man, we want to play you guys. I see you guys did this to my friend's team. We want to play you. And so, so it's just a fun thing that we can do. And add stuff, but there's a lot of basketball played. There's a lot of basketball played. The thing about the Sunburn is we get done early, because it's hot, and so we like to get the teams off the courts by 4, 5 p.m. You played at least 2 games the first day, and then you're out in the sun doing what we do in Wenatchee.
Yeah. Which is having a good time.
Oh yeah, have a good time to enjoy all of our
So
stuff.
people want to get signed up. I'm in. I want to do a team. JD, how do they go about getting signed up for the Sunburn Classic?
You can go to Sunburn Classic #3on3.com.
Okay.
And it'll direct you to the link for Turning Machine, which you can find. It'll say find your tournament. You'll find the Sunburn Classic, and you go ahead and register. If you have any issues, you can go ahead and email us, and we can get you going on the backside.
It is a lot of fun.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, the venue is going to be really nice. So from the very beginning, if you notice, you go to any 3-on-3s, you get the kids just look like they've been playing in mud. And that's because the surfaces are dirty because of all the cars and stuff. And if you look at it, even a lot of the pictures from year 1 from the Sunburn Classic, our players are not that dirty. It's because we... Clean Sweep comes in and they sweep those. We clean and blow off the streets and wash the streets, and it's a better experience. So we know that the kids everybody's getting the best of the best when it comes to our event.
And one last thing before I forget, because I know you're busy, you got to thank some sponsors, don't you? You got some people.
I do have to
without
thank some sponsors.
Without
Man, we have big sponsors to thank, and that's Pepsi. Pepsi Weinstein Beverage has stepped up. This is their 2nd year, and they are just really behind us. Really driving this tournament. They really believe in it. Last year they was their first year, and it turned us into a different tournament, having that backing with Pepsi. So they've done a really good job, and whatever we need, they're there for us. They'll be there they will be there. They'll be present during the tournament doing that. All of our court sponsors, we have a lot of court sponsors. We've had court sponsors from the beginning. Cara Schroeder. We've had the Mini Storage, East Wenatchee Mini Storage, 911, Works. They start out at Gold, now they're Works. They've been on board and doing dual sponsorship for Rugrat Nation. That another new one this year is Wenatchee World.
Oh, good.
Yeah, Wenatchee World's jumped on, and so they're doing some stuff for us and with us, and they'll be present at the tournament as well. And so we're really excited about all the sponsors, because this doesn't go on without the sponsors.
It's as simple as that.
It's just that simple. You know, the more sponsorship, and there's so many different levels that you can sponsor. If you want to sponsor and you have a business and we can't do a backboard, you can pay an entry fee.
Okay.
And a team will play in your name.
Okay. I was going to ask about that. That's a great idea.
Yeah,
that's a really good idea.
Yeah, a team will play in your business's name, because we do have some kids local that want to play and then aren't able to.
From a financial standpoint.
From financial standpoints. And here's a way that the businesses can be present at the tournament, but still really help out the kids in the community. Yeah. You know, we want more local kids, because we have a lot of teams from out of town coming to this tournament. We want our kids here to be able to play, even if their parents can't afford to make that happen. We're gonna make it happen some kind of way. Somebody will step up and make it happen. Good. So,
looking forward to it. You want to close out the show with hula hoops? We took this in from the office here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, here we go. I'll go first.
So you call a bank shot?
Yeah, bank
Banker.
shot. Oh, jeez, this is terrible. And come on, man, we're 2 feet away. Why can't I make that? Oh, that was even worse.
Yeah, that was soft.
Oh, there you go. All right, here we go. Okay, I at least got to make one shot here.
Right. You're going for bank shots. I'm just dropping it straight in.
There you go. There you go. Okay, let me make one. Here, let me make one.
There it is.
There we go. It's the Sunburn Classic, July 27th and 28th. Again, a Sunburn. I got it right here. Now I can't read it. Sunburn Classic 3on3.com. Everything you need to know. JD, it's always good to see you, my friend.
Yes.
Put on a great show.
Yeah, we're going to have fun.
I'll see you at the gyms this winter, all right?
Oh, yeah.
All right, you got it. You're watching Wake Up at Wenatchee Valley. We'll be right back.
Break out the shorts and sunglasses. Summer is here. So, moms and dads, what have you planned for the kids this summer? Registration is now open to sign up online using our new RAC app or by calling the club. Our team of professionals have multi-sport camps, swim and tennis lessons, swim team, and much more packed into our summer schedule. I'm Emma, RAC Membership Coordinator, and we've got you covered with our full lineup of family fun. Special summer memberships are on sale now. More details at wrac.org or call 662-3544. The RAC, where we play every day.
You don't have to be a member to enjoy the view and dine-in style at Highlander Bar and Grill in East Wenatchee. Open 7 days a week, Highlander Grill offers breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in or take it to go, our friendly staff is here to serve you. Reservations recommended for Friday night's prime rib dinner. Call for live music dates. Hi, I'm Shalane, Site Coordinator for Highlander Grill. Give me a call to schedule your event today.
And we're back here live from Studio 8 in downtown Wenatchee. Let's wrap up the program. We got about a minute left with that all-important weather forecast. Red flag warning will go into effect at 2 o'clock this afternoon. The National Weather Service has issued that. 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock this afternoon is two of the three things that usually make these things up, which is low relative humidity, and I mean low relative humidity. It's going to be down into the teens. And strong winds, very windy today. Winds about 20 to 25 miles an hour this afternoon. Gusts as high as 40 miles an hour. And in some locations, such as Wenatchee Heights, the Waterville Plateau, and the Badger Mountain area, you could see winds up near 50 miles an hour. Not sustained winds, just gusts. So again, with gusty conditions, lots of sunshine, cool temperatures, but very windy and very low relative humidity. We have a red flag warning from 2 o'clock to 8 o'clock. And by the way, it's for the upper Columbia Basin as well. And if you're going to be driving on I-90 today and you have a high-profile rig, watch out. You could be blown around. Windy today, windy tonight, windy Friday night. We calm down Saturday, and we heat up big time by the time we get to the weekend. Provided the show isn't canceled, I'll see you Friday. Until then, take care and bye-bye.